Welcome everyone to today's digital marketing live workshop. It's Friday, you can probably tell. We are very happy to be joined today by Andy Miles.
Hello.
Andy is a project manager here at Exposure Ninja, fantastic marketer, and also has a background in the content marketing department as well. So he's one of those multifaceted people that you got to watch out for. Let us know in the comments where you're watching in from today. Andy, you're in Glossop, right?
I'm in Glossop. It's very grey, very wet, but also very beautiful, so can't complain.
Andy, you're in Glossop. Love it, love it. Cool. Well, I'm in Surrey, and it's also very grey, but it's all colourful in here, and that's what we're here to do. A little bit of colour for you on this grey morning. So today we're going to be doing digital marketing problems solved. So if you've got a digital marketing problem that you need solved, drop it in the chat window. So let's say, for example, that you have a specific problem, like we need to increase our website's conversion rate, and then you can show the website. Or let's say you need some more traffic, then you might want to give us the website. So if you can, give us the website and give us your problem, and we will do our best to solve it. So we've got some people from London. Welcome, Shola. Welcome, Surfing Sandra, watching from Lisbon. Nice. Probably not great. Antonius, welcome. Elephant Man, watching from Glasgow. Nice. Tunbridge, Kent, and Wet. It's like a 60s vocal group. Greetings from sunny Germany, Indre. Sterling Eco Showroom. Hi, guys. Website build is looking great. Cool. Is that one that we're doing? If so, of course, it's looking great. Nottingham, David, welcome. Care and Flair, another vocal group from Kent. Edam, Liverpool, Ascot, Oliver, just down the road. Love it. Actually went to school in Charters in Ascot. Fantastic place. Uend is hello from Albania. Welcome. Welcome, Villy from Finland. Brighton, Scotland. Awesome. Love it. Great. Okay, cool. So we've got some questions coming in already. Welcome, Phil from Tokyo. Jeez, loving the global audience. So we've got some sites that have been submitted ahead of time where the owners have given us some specific questions or problems that they need answering. So we're going to go through some of them. But keep on dropping your questions or your digital marketing problems that you need solved in the chat, and we will sort it out. So Sean says, I need more traffic and less bounce rate. Sean, give us your website address. If you're going to give us your website address, as always, the rule is to not include the dot in .com. So if you wanted to submit Exposure Ninja, you'd type in Exposure Ninja space .com. And then that way YouTube won't condemn you to the spam heap. Elephant Man, great question. I'm running a site that does a lot of news, time-sensitive content. How can I get this crawled and indexed as quick as possible? Good question. So we will come to that as well. So just drop your questions in the channel. Firstly, before we do anything else, I just wanted to show you a graph. And this is a graph of hope. And this is a graph of... it's a graph of consistency and a kind of sign of consistency. Let me just dial up the light a bit in here. This is a graph which is fairly typical to see in a lot of social channels or anything that really relies on algorithmic visibility. This is the Exposure Ninja YouTube channel, and we've been working on our YouTube stuff for about a couple of years now. About a year and a half consistently. And one of the things that you'll find with any algorithmic visibility, organic visibility, whether it's SEO, whether it's organic social, whether it's something like YouTube, is you'll often see this sort of shape. So this phase here feels really miserable and rubbish because you're putting in a lot of work. You're putting in as much work here as you are here, but you're getting almost nothing in return. And you think, why am I doing this? But I just want to show you that you are not alone. This is how things are. This is how algorithmic visibility works, because you tend to have this phenomenon wherever there's a visibility algorithm that the more you are seen, the more that you're seen, right? Whether it's on Amazon as a product listing, people who bought this also bought. Well, obviously the result of that is you get this kind of exponential visibility, because as more people buy your product, people who bought this also bought also increases. So more people see your products. And it's exactly the same with any channel that relies on engagement, because the more people engage with your stuff, the more visibility that you'll have, and the more visibility that you have, the more views you'll get, the more engagement that you'll get, and so on and so on and so on. So you get this kind of shape. So this is just for anyone who needs to hear this on this grey Friday morning in lockdown March, that if you're on a channel which requires consistency, don't quit here thinking this growth is really slow and boring. Keep going. But also wanted to say thanks for all the engagement with our YouTube channel. This is really encouraging, and we're really enjoying putting these videos together for you as well. Okay, great. So the first site that we're going to look through today is this one here. So this is chilidogsevents.co.uk, and the owner of the site, I'm sorry, I don't recall your name, but the owner of the site built the site themselves. So we're going to have a look at the site from a conversion perspective. That was the main question that they had. Just have a look over the site, give us your professional opinion on what we could be doing better. First impressions, Andy, what are you saying? Homemade site, does it feel homemade?
It does feel a little bit homemade, but I do like it. I do like the look of it. I'm not 100% sure about the jittery image you've got there at the front, even though it does look pretty cool. It can be quite distracting. But overall, I think it looks quite good. I like the benefits bar. Yeah, I think overall, from first look, I think it looks quite good. I think there are some things we can tweak there, though, just to improve conversion. Maybe just an easier way to contact them would be useful. A phone number there in the top right would be useful. I'm not a huge fan of the scrolling thing. I don't know what you think about that, Tim, but it looks like some of the copy kind of gets lost in there as you scroll down. What do you think?
What, these sorts of things here?
Yeah, so not that one. As you scroll down, you see the back kind of stays the same as you roll down, and then as you roll down, some of the text kind of disappears.
Yeah, got you. Yeah, the parallax thing going on. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, you never want to prioritize design over usability, and unfortunately, that's what we've got here. So, yes, it looks cool. Yes, it's a quirk. We would never build this into a site because you never want to sacrifice. You know, if there's ever a situation where people can't read your text, there's no sacrifice that is worth that. So yeah, I would agree with that. You mentioned there, like ease of use of contacts. We've got this free bespoke menu call to action, which kind of keeps popping up, which I think is it's a great idea, and it's a great way of giving people something specific that isn't just get a quote. However, I would agree with you. I think free bespoke menu is probably quite a high commitment step for people, isn't it? We're already talking about menu design before I know if they're available, before I know what sort of price I'd be working on.
Yeah, I would be tempted to just try and keep it as simple as possible on the home page. So how can I get in contact with someone as quickly as possible? A live chat function might be quite useful for a site like this, because people, I mean, if you think about the pain points of customers coming to a site for a food truck, they're going to have questions about capacity, the hygiene, how many people can you cater for, and the live chat might be a really quick way for them to just get in contact with you, talk to someone directly, get those answers solved early on, and get them in the process of quoting them for whatever project they've got coming up.
Agreed. This is really, you know, people, it's the same in, well, especially as we're going out of lockdown, one of the big questions is going to be availability. It looks like all signs point to there being some kind of explosion of events once we are fully relieved of lockdown. So the big question I guess people are going to have is about availability, and going through a free bespoke menu process is going to feel like something has been inserted in the way of that kind of natural sales process that's going to happen. So yeah, would agree. Nice, quick. It looks like you've got a phone, like a mobile phone I saw somewhere on the site. So just having that, you know, call or text us, something like that in the header might be pretty good, as long as you're happy to take those calls. But yeah, I think other than that, there's a lot of really good stuff on this site, right? I think the credibility of having these large brands that you've worked with immediately sets you apart from others. And definitely, if I was looking for a commercial opportunity, then that gives me, you know, all the encouragement and all the reassurance that I'd need to trust you with the gig. I think the testimonials are great, positioned really well. They're very strong as well, passionate, you know, great. In fact, you've got images with them as well. They are real people and there's plenty of information about them. Oxfordshire is what we call meaningful specifics. The daughter's 21st birthday, potentially completely irrelevant, but actually it's not, because it builds credibility here as well. And the fact that you're mentioning vegans and vegetarians. Someone mentioned in the comments, if I was vegetarian or vegan, they would have lost me, as they're not explaining or mentioning if they can provide it for you. So that could be something worth considering for the benefits bar up at the top here. I know that is something that you offer for different dietary requirements. So that one there. So worth mentioning that, I think, possibly at the header, to make sure that people don't just think this is just about hot dogs. Will says, too much going on for me.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree with that. There's just a little bit too much going on, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I would also suggest maybe bringing that credibility up above the fold. So if you've worked with ASOS, I would have that as one of the first things I see as I land on your page, because that's a pretty big company and they give you an amazing recommendation there. I would be showing that off a lot.
Yeah, I guess one of the things that you've got to be careful with something like this, and particularly using really big brands like ASOS, is that what we don't want to do is put off the private individual who's considering booking, thinking that, oh, this is a commercial catering only. So maybe some sort of way of clearly just, maybe it's the headline, party catering on steroids. Maybe there's a better headline for that. You've got here epic food truck for parties and businesses, or something like that. Is there a headline that you could use which kind of answers the who this is for things straight away? And then when you use that ASOS thing, you're using it to get credibility with both the commercial and the private audience, rather than potentially that suppressing response from individuals. Okay, great. And someone says, actually, it's not mobile friendly. Damn. Oh, dude, that is savage. Yeah. Unless there is a separate mobile site, which I haven't actually checked it on a mobile agent, but unless there is a separate mobile site, that is a issue. Even if there isn't a separate mobile site, it should be responsive anyway, because the in-betweeny size screens are all the rage these days. So you definitely need to make sure that is sorted. Great. The only other thing I wanted to touch on was the blog. Now, as a CM alumni, Andy, anything that strikes you about these blogs? I'm just going to pull up this first one here. 6 things everyone wants to know when hiring a food truck for their event.
There seems to be some useful ones in there. The 6 things everyone wants to know when hiring a food truck. That's a pretty good one. That's useful. People will definitely have those questions about the business. Things like food trends predicted for 2020. I mean, you're going to have such high competition there. I'm not sure it's really worth doing it. We have to niche it down a little bit in order to get some ranking.
I mean, something like potentially, wedding catering food trends for 2020.
Yeah.
Like that could be a post that they update every year if it's ranking well.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the idea of discussing trends is great. I would just niche it down a little bit more, like you say, talk about weddings, maybe business events, because you'll have customers coming to you that are from businesses as well as people coming in for their weddings. Just make it as specific as possible, really, because then you're answering that pain point for the customer. And like you say, you can keep updating it, and then you could even repurpose that content later down the line as well.
I mean, something like this, 6 things everyone wants to know when hiring a food truck for their event. That's potentially something that people would click on, but it's not something people would search for. Whereas these questions here, how much does it cost to hire a food truck, or food truck cost, for example, food truck hire cost, that seems like something that would be searched for. So what do you think about separating out each of these and building them into their own posts?
Yeah, for sure. I think if you have kind of like listicle articles like this, where it's 6 things or the 10 best something, you can start to repurpose it and create an individual blog post for each one, and then go into a bit more detail about each specific point. And then obviously you're expanding the amount of content you can put on the site, as well as appealing to more people at the same time.
Yeah, so I guess this is I think it was a concept I first heard from Digital Marketer, the fishbone post, where this is like the ultimate guide to hiring a food truck. And then you've got maybe 6 or maybe 50 different kind of individual questions. And in this post, you'd answer each one in a bit of detail. You probably want a table of contents at the top here, but then that would also link through to the top questions to an individual post all about that. And then these posts would link to each other. The great thing about having this massive post linking to your sub posts for the individual questions is obviously going to be you're going to have like anchor text about how much does it cost to hire a food truck going to that blog post. So that's going to help its ranking. And then vice versa, you're going to get the kind of ultimate guide, picking up some internal links from those individual posts as well. So yeah, that'd be something to think about. But the content looks well positioned. There's no CTA here, which is a bit of a shame. Oh no, there is, but it doesn't look like a CTA. I'm not sure why the contact page always opens in a new window as well. I'd probably stop that from happening. But yeah, okay, lots of potential, good stuff. One question I promised I would answer, someone sent it in before it was actually a YouTube comment on one of our videos, was what questions should we be asking in our, what keywords should we be targeting on our homepage? And I thought this is a really good question, because actually it's not massively obvious to people, is it? So here's how I would think about it. If you consider that your homepage is basically, by process of elimination, your homepage is targeting the broadest terms that describe your business, right? So for Exposure Ninja, our homepage is digital marketing agency. If you're a dentist, it's going to be dentist Glossop or wherever you're based, right? Because your individual service pages, they're going to be targeting the specific terms for each service, or your individual product pages are going to be targeting the specific terms for each product. So that kind of takes out all of the specific, the niche, the super relevant terms for those products and services, and just leaves your homepage targeting the broadest possible phrase, which is basically how people would describe your business. Anything to add there? Anything that needs clarifying there, Andy? I just wanted to answer that question.
No, I think you're spot on there. I think in terms of hitting the keywords on your homepage, just make sure that they are relevant to your customers, so that they are finding the right page, basically. And then obviously you can niche down into other pages on the site, but your homepage really, whatever your customer is searching for, you want them to come to the page through that search term. So and making sure you're putting it in the right places, because the placement of your keywords is just as important as the keywords that you're using. So have it in the header, in your header 1, have it within the description of your business, and that's a quick way for Google to rank your page and get the right customers coming in.
Completely agree. Okay. We're going to do an audience submission. We got Sean, who said, I need more traffic and less bounce rate for petpack.biz. So let's just get that site up and we'll have a quick look and see what we can do to help Sean get more traffic and reduce his bounce rate. So as always, people, let's use the crowd. We've got a lot of really good marketers in these live sessions. So if you see anything that you think could help Sean reduce his bounce rate, if you've got any suggestions for getting more traffic, then please do let us know in the comments. So first impressions, as soon as you land on the page, what are we thinking? We're thinking, how professional is this? Would I put my credit card details in here? We're thinking, what does this business do and why should I buy from them? Andy, first impressions, gut reaction, what are we thinking?
I'm not 100% sure on what they do. Pet supply boxes is a bit vague. I'm not 100% sure on what they're providing me or what I'm about to buy. So it's
it looks like, yeah, are they supplying pets?
Yeah, are you going to give me a box full of pets, or am I going to buy a box full of supplies for my pet? we just need to make it as obvious as possible when you arrive on the site as to what the business does, so that the people landing on the site know that they found the right website for them.
Agreed. We also have a little grammar thing with apostrophes. I know that some people are apostrophe, they're particularly tuned for apostrophes, and we need to get this to satisfy those /me. Okay, so we need to be clear about exactly what we're getting from this site, first of all. I think the imagery, some of it looks pixelated, which immediately reduces my trust. There's very little credibility about the site. So anything like, can you 100% product satisfaction or your money back? Can you get me some Trustpilot? Can you get me reviews? Can you get me testimonials? Like anything like that would be good. Not enough information above the fold, like Andy says. Pet supply boxes. I don't think that is a commonly used phrase. I certainly have no idea what it means. Okay.
Yeah.
Box of healthy premium branded pet supplies. Is this food? Dog treats, cat treats, supplies. I still don't know. Is it cat litter?
Yeah, it's very difficult to know what it sells.
Right. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right. Okay. So this is like accessories rather than food. Okay. Right. The other thing I would say is if this is a new business, and I'm assuming it is a new business, I would be tempted to pick one animal and focus on that to get things kicked off, and then evolve from there. Because I think at the moment, there's so much positioning work that needs to be done, not just on this website for this business, to help this business understand where its space in the market is. I would be tempted to look for something like, let's go for dog subscription box. Let's just have a look and see what competitors are doing. We've got woof box, woof woof, and we need to understand. Now, dogs might not be the one that you want to go for. It's probably going to be the most competitive. We might go for something like, wait, what? Okay, so you got dogs and cats. I saw goldfish here. So are the goldfish being supplied for the cat box? Like I don't understand that. Okay. Anyway, that's another. Okay, this is interesting. Woofbox was ranking for dog subscription box, but the homepage title is just home/dog and cats pet subscription. No favicon, so I would be interested in SEO for this, and it looks like a fairly small business as they've got a mobile number in the header as well. Nobody customizes like Woofbox. Okay. I mean, what are we thinking about this as a comparison, people? Let us know in the... Sean says, it's new. I'm focusing on dogs. Might be good to see the animals with the products that they're selling. Yes, love that suggestion, Shola. What are we thinking comparing this site to this site? Which would you be more likely to buy from? And what specifically would influence that decision? How about you, Andy?
Influence straight away. There's a lot more information on this page on the Woofbox in terms of it's easier to contact them. I can see the social proof at the top there. I instantly know what I'm buying when I get on the site. I can see the pack there. It's clearly a pack for the dog to enjoy, whether that's treats and toys all together. And then we're leading straight into the products, which is also quite nice to see what's available. I would be more inclined to spend my money with this company. They just seem a little more set up, a little more professional.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because it doesn't feel corporate. It doesn't feel like this feasibly is one person, maybe two people. The fact that there's a mobile phone number, like they haven't even got call forwarding set up, which is like what you do on day 6 of setting up a business, right? So this isn't about feeling like a massive company, is it? And actually, that might be that might be a selling point for Sean, is that Sean is the person behind the business, and let's get your personality on there. And if you're passionate about dogs, then that could be a great angle to take. But so this isn't about how big the company is. This is just about closing those questions, those loops, that the problems that people are going to have, the conversion blockages that are going to prevent them from taking action. All right, let's have a look at how these boxes work. So do we get much information? No. No. So it's not great. And and I would certainly be going pretty hard against this if I was competing against them, saying, what are we going to get? Is this all just going to end up in landfill? Where does it come from? How are the products chosen? You know, is there any cost savings to me going out and buying these things individually? Am I going to get a house full of toys? Like, what's the ratio of different things? Is my dog going to get fat? You know, all that type of stuff. So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered before we go for something like this, I think, as a rule. Sean says he thinks his product page is set out well. Let's find out, Sean. Let's find out.
Let's have a look.
Okay. All right. I'd say it's not set out horrendously. Yeah, interesting. One of the things I would ask you, Sean, is can we niche down further? So we've got dog snack pack. Given that you're competing against established players in this space, is there an opportunity for organic dog snack pack or, you know, gluten-free dog snack pack? And the only reason I ask that is look at the difference in packaging between Harrington's and Pedigree. Pedigree is marketed almost like a very, very highly commercial. It's like a toothpaste, right? Dentastix, daily oral care, but it's very slick. It's very FMCG. It's very, you know, large company and safe, but it's also very mass produced. And I think the difference between Pedigree and Harrington's, now I don't know this and I don't know a huge amount about the pet space, but I would say these two products are marketed at completely different people. And the fact that Harrington's have gone for this very neutral looking thing, the color of the bag, obviously the bag probably isn't going to be recyclable, but it's been designed to look like it is, very muted, earthy tones. This is designed to appeal to, and the same with this, right? What's this? Premium dog poo bags that are made from recyclable materials. Got a spelling mistake there, and then a spelling mistake there as well. But the fact that we've got these different, almost like these different markets catered to with this, I would be interested to know whether you get an uptick in conversion rate by going all along the lines of this and saying, you know, this is a recyclable dog subscription box, or this is a dog subscription box for people that care about the environment or whatever, versus something like this. So that would be my only question, and that's based on nothing other than the fact that these product packages are designed for, in my opinion, completely different people. Yeah, I don't know. Any thoughts on that or around that at all, Andy? Tough question.
I think it's a good point that you should definitely niche down on the type of products you sell. Mixing Pedigree and that other brand's probably not a great idea, and you could create packs that are, you know, the eco-friendly pack, the dog weight loss pack, the training your dog pack, the puppy pack. You know, you could go on for days and days with different types of niche packs that you could put together for people. I think in terms just on the spelling mistakes, because we've seen a few now, there is research out there, and I think the bounce rate for grammar is around 85% of people will bounce from a page if they spot grammar mistakes, which is huge. So it's massively important to sort the grammar out and make sure that that's fixed.
Yeah, totally agree. And Sean, I hope you're reading the comments, because there's actually some really insightful stuff in here as well. Morigang says, I don't buy anything Pedigree for my dog. So there's no reason for that. It just says, I don't buy anything Pedigree for my dog. So that is an objection that we're going to have to come over, right? There are going to be people out there that are going to have that response. Indri says, why should I choose them instead of just getting these treats in a shop whilst I'm doing my food shopping, for example? Another very good question. Karen Flair, my dog's allergic to meat, really hard to find treats for him, could push that angle. So yeah, it seems like the niche kind of angle is going to be good. Moira says, would like to see niche local brands in the box. Love that angle, because that is, someone else said, I would like to discover new, oh, it's more again, I'd like to discover new products using this sort of box. And that's an opportunity to knock out a whole bunch of these objections. Actually, there's another angle that you can use here, which reminds me of the makeup subscription boxes, right? Where the makeup brands will pay to be in the subscription boxes because it gives them exposure to new products. So I wonder if you could completely flip this business model, get niche, smaller, local, and startup, ethical, you know, vegan, whatever, dog treat brands to contribute their product to your box. they might not pay, but they might give you a serious discount. They're going to give you more of a discount than Pedigree will. I know that for sure. And then obviously you've got the USP there of we'll help you discover local and niche and smaller brands. It works for the pet owner who gets to discover things. It works for you because you get a reduction in the cost of filling these boxes, and it works for the brand because they get a wider audience. So I'd look for some sort of synergy like that and go hard with that, really. So I think this is probably the sort of business where you're going to find one angle that works. You're going to find one audience that really resonates with it and then go hard with that. But probably targeting all dog owners is going to be a very expensive way to get this going. Cool. Sam says, just got a puppy, finding it really hard to find. That's why I love these live sessions, because we get to actually ask the audience and we get real feedback from people that understand marketing, but also understand what they're buying. And you know, we've got consumers / marketing people in these chats. So I think it's fantastic. Yeah, great. Right, so Moira Gang, let's do Moira Gang because she's been contributing loads. I think it was she, I can't remember. I think we've spoken before. I can't remember. Let's have a look anyway. Right, so low traffic and conversion, not ranking high for niche keyword. Can you review? I remember this site. We've reviewed this site before. Jimmy Choo, software. Love these products. Okay, so first up. What are we selling? Cute plushies and stuffed animals and monsters. Bored with the cheap, brown, unimaginative teddy bears in toy shops. Our mission is to create toys with personalities, toys with stories, toys with strong, memorable characters that will last and provide entertainment forever. Okay. Right. Question to the commenters. If you had just had a baby, or if someone you knew had just had a baby and you saw this in your Instagram feed with a buy button, would you be tempted? That is the question I'd like to ask you. Now, if I was asking that to myself, I think the answer is definitely. Andy, anything about this that would trick your buy glands, get you going?
I actually quite like it. It's fun. It's engaging. I like the copy. It's kind of down to earth and fun to read. You've got the benefits bar, which is good at the top. I don't know what it's like to navigate to the shop, Tim. Like, is it simple to move to the shop? What categories?
Let's have a look. So yeah, we got soft toys, brooches, and pins, cart checkout. So someone's actually raised the question. There is no mention of kids or children. Okay, interesting. So we might have made an assumption about this being for kids and children. Maybe it's for adults as well, or maybe it is just for adults. Not too sure. Question there, though. Yeah, so the shop looks reasonable. There's not much kind of categorization. Perhaps there's like an animals type. You know, they're all pretty much animals.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's quirky. I think it's really cool. And I think people would really like it. I guess what's the objective? And I think there's so much personality behind the brand. Okay, we've got a picture of some kids with it. All right. So that kind of answers that question. And I'd maybe play up on that a little bit more. I don't know how many adults you're getting purchasing. I think you probably get some, but I don't think you'd suppress that response if you showed kids with the product. I think it might actually help reassure parents and buyers for kids that this is right. This is something to do. Other people buy this. Other people like you have made this decision. Yeah, I think it's cool. I'm seeing the kid with the with the Johnny Alligator. I absolutely love it. Price point is high. I'm not going to lie. As someone who has spent a fair amount of money on kids' toys, price point is high. That could potentially be a conversion blocker for me. I don't know. What do we think?
Is that $32.99 just for the crocodile soft toy I'm seeing in the picture?
I think so. I don't think the child is included or the artwork. I think
it's pretty high. It's pretty high.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, it's big and it looks awesome and it's funky, but I'm not sure whether the kind of added quirkness is gonna get to that price point. So I don't know. If you've researched it and you know that there are competitors, or actually maybe there are competitors who are at that price point and sustaining it, then that's fine. What I would do is potentially just be aware that that is an objection that people are going to have, and know that we're going to have to demonstrate that this is completely different, and we can't evaluate it against the soft toys that we would expect to buy in a shop, right? So we'd have to completely reset expectations, and whether it's telling the story about Johnny Alligator, or whether it's telling the story about you and showing you creating the toys with your hands, this is why it's cheaper. Maybe it's this is why you're paying a premium, because this is handmade in the UK or whatever. Then that's going to be right. Okay, so we've got handmade with love. So I'd potentially use that. Oh, we've got handmade. I was going to say I'd use that in a benefits bar. I've just completely missed it. Maybe even handmade crocodile soft toy or something like that. Free repair on any split steaming and restuffing. That's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, so I think there are some stories here. It might even be that, do you know what it might be? That the product is so quirky and engaging that actually it's quite difficult to take in the information around it on the site. Because I hadn't even spotted that top benefits bar, and I spend all day looking for benefits bars, so that might be something to play with. Yeah,
could just make the benefits bar a little bit clearer at the top, like you say, so that people can see it. The lifetime warranty and the fact it's handmade, maybe does make the price a little bit more acceptable for people, but it just needs to be clearer as when you come on the site.
Yeah, I mean, you could potentially even just lose the top bar, put those three down here. I mean, it's all theoretical, because most of the traffic is going to come to this on mobile anyway, and they're going to lose those top benefits altogether. But yeah, having certainly these are the USPs, right? Lifetime warranty, ridiculous for a kid's toy to offer lifetime warranty. That is ludicrous. So this is almost like a refill your Coke deal, isn't it? Where this is, you and I know that very few people are going to come back after 10 years saying the stuffing has started to come out of Johnny Alligator. But offering that shows a confidence in the quality of the product, and that might be the USP that you're really looking for. So yeah, Brian says, need to emphasize the handmade more. Moya says, it comes in a very cool box with a story on the postcard. It comes with lifetime warranty. Now, I don't know if you're in the session that we had a couple of weeks ago where we talked about the axe from Best Made Co. Best Made Co. sell the £350 axe or $350 axe. Anyway, it turns out that they've been bought out by another company, and the amazing product page that used to sell this axe has been condemned to the to the archive.org graveyard of old great websites. But what they did is they showed the product in the box, and with this story about, here's how the care instructions and all that type of stuff. So I'd potentially go hardcore on that. And in the product images, to be fair, you do have it there in the product image, but I'd maybe, make more of that fact. It comes with the postcard about it as well. So let's see it in, as it's being opened, because if this is like a gift purchase, I know when I buy my wife a candle, I'm not buying her a candle, I'm buying her a gift. So that means that my anchor to price on candles has gone out the window, which is lucky, because my anchor to price on candles is about £2. But the anchor to gifts is triggered. So what we need people to be doing is thinking about the opening experience and the fact that this is coming in a box, and here's the postcard, and here's the child's face when they open it. So I'd maybe be selling that angle in the images there. Okay, Indri says, for boys, yes, but for my girl, I wouldn't be rushing. They look a bit scary monsters in first place on banner. That probably turned me off from buying. I wouldn't be too put off by that, because I think for everyone who's put off by that, there's going to be other people that are really energized by the fact that they look so different. So it's not for everyone. And I think that has to be, when you're starting a business, being for everyone is a really tricky positioning to sell. So I actually think that might mean that you're onto something there. What else have we got? Other people saying, I like this site, feel confident with it. Brian suggests handmade gifts with personality. That's probably quite a good USP that you could, or a good kind of statement somewhere. What else we got? I'm reaching for my Visa card right now, says Paul. That's what we like to see. Freddie says, I'd switch to benefits bar and the free shipping bars. I'd listen to Freddie. He's a ninja. He knows his stuff. Oliver Smith says, page speed needs big improvement. It'll be a ranking factor from May. Yes, check out the Core Web Vitals video. But also, don't panic yourself too much, because this looks like a Shopify site to me. And there's a whole bunch of Shopify sites that are really struggling with Core Web Vitals. So we don't expect it's going to be a huge factor, because almost every site at the moment is struggling with that. Sam, are there any reviews of the product? If there aren't, let's get some in the hands of influencers. That's another thing that you could do. And this is a way of getting traffic. I'd find some influencers that have just had kids and send them a whole bunch of these, right? And you want the influencers that are likely to post about it. So you don't want like Sam and Billy Fairs. You want people who are a level below that. So they might be like 100,000 followers, but they've had kids. They've got a parenty, kiddie style following. A lot of engagement on the posts about kids. Maybe they'll be posting about kids' toys as well. I'd send them some product. They will probably take photos of it because it's so different. And then you can then use those photos. If you have that relationship with the influencer, you can then use those photos in the piece here. And maybe even you'll sometimes see a business that's been heavily social first. They'll actually use the influencer's pictures on the product page and they'll tag the influencer. So the pitch for the influencer is, we'll be promoting you on our product page. And the pitch for you is, we get the social proof of people seeing that, established influencers love our products. So yeah, I'm not entirely convinced that SEO would actually be the angle that I'd take here. I think this is more the sort of thing that's going to be, it's going to be an impulse purchase. It's going to be sold on how it looks rather than, maybe quirky kids' toys might be an angle to take, but I'm not convinced that that's the best way to go for you necessarily. Maybe Google Shopping, but Instagram ads and organic outreach to influencers feels like the most sensible traffic channels from my perspective. Oliver Smith says ranking number 11 for Jimmy Choo, according to SEMrush. Big opportunity there, potentially, but Jimmy Choo isn't right. It's not the right. It's Jimmy Choo. That's the shoe company. Jimmy Choo is going to be a misspelling of people searching for Jimmy Choos. So I don't think that is the. I'm not sure that is the opportunity that it appears. Yeah. Okay. Anything else to add before we move on, Andy?
I would say that product outreach would be really strong for this client. There are thousands and thousands of mum blogs out there, especially in the UK, to take advantage of. I would be contacting them all, sending them for free, like you say, Tim, and saying, get them up on their Instagram pages, have them writing blogs about their kids using them. And I think you'll get some really good opportunities out of it.
So just talk us, like, what's the process that we're using with product outreach? So for someone who's listening, who's like, right, I want to get my product into the hands of influencers, but they've never done it before.
So the first thing we need to do is identify the right type of influencers to contact. And that would be making sure that they align with your values. So in terms of this website, it's all eco-friendly, it's handmade. There's definitely going to be mum blogs out there that are aligned with those same values, that are talking about handmade crafts and are talking about eco-friendly goods. And a lot of these blogs do contain blog posts with their kids using various products. It's really not that difficult to get in touch with them. They're very open to people contacting them and taking in your products. Whether they use them or not is up to them, but it's sometimes they may ask for a fee to do it, depending on the amount of work that's required from them. If they're going to write a blog about your product, they may ask for a small fee just to cover their time and their work behind that. But some of them may also just accept the goods and be happy to put that on their social media and take pictures with their kids using it. And when we're doing the research for those influencers, it's really important to make sure that they are having quality interaction, not just followers, because sometimes you can get influencers that have millions of followers and it looks really good from the outset. But if their followers are not interacting with them regularly and they're not putting out consistent content, it might not be the best opportunity. So what you're looking for is when you're scrolling through Instagram, if you find an influencer who is a mom who has the kids regularly on their different products, you're looking for lots of comments from people saying, wow, this is amazing. I've got to get myself one of these. They can then put a link to your website in their bio, send people that way, either the link in the bio or their link tree, which is like an extension to Instagram. And it's a very quick way to get your brand out there and just get it some attention. And I think once you start to do that, you'll start to make a name for yourself. And then the great thing about mum blogs is there are mum forums out there as well, and they talk a lot, and it's all over the place. And once you get on there, people will start talking about you in the forums and then spreading your products on Instagram. And once they buy them, then you've got them uploading their own content using your product, and it can just spiral out of control. It really can.
Yeah, tons of opportunity. I mean, in some ways, you know, we'll often go to product outreach and influencers almost immediately when there's a product that's targeting mums, because that is such a rich kind of environment, isn't it? It's such a rich culture of that online. So yeah, totally agree. Cool. Okay. Let's go and have a look at another site. Now, we actually had some others lined up, but we've had so many submissions. I'm going to keep going through the ones that have been submitted live. And Antonis says, basilicadanceware.com, we're a dancewear business. We're looking to increase the order value. Okay, very specific question. So I think we should be able to get through this one nicely. So I'm just going to share screen. Here's the basilicadanceware.com site. So remember, our challenge today is to increase average order value. So we're not going to touch on conversion, not going to touch on traffic. We're going to look at how we could get people buying more. So there's a few ways to do this from an e-commerce perspective. It's basically upsells and cross sells. Those are the levers that you have to play with. You also have things like free delivery thresholds as well. So if just really some broad advice, if you notice that you're getting orders of like £30, you can't get over it, but you're charging for delivery, then all you would do is put your free delivery over £35 or whatever, you know, the threshold that you want to test, and you just test increasing it to see at what point you start to get a reduction in your total ROI. What you want to do is you want to force people to be adding that second product. The only other thing I can think immediately is that let's just go through the process of buying one of these. Now, buy with Apple Pay is okay. And you'll probably want to test your conversion rate on this. But one of the opportunities I would be looking at here, so I've just clicked on buy that, and it's just taken me straight to the checkout page. I have a question for you. I just added that to cart. I would rather see that go into a cart up here, which I can then continue shopping. Otherwise, I actually have to click the back button if I want to continue shopping, which really isn't ideal. So I can click return to cart, but that's not intuitive. So, I mean, you're using Shopify. Some of this is going to be, you know, restrictions with whatever you've got with Shopify. But if you wanted to really increase, if you really wanted to increase average order value, the kind of a great user flow would be, I go on this, I click add to cart, I then get taken to my cart, and it says people who bought this also bought, because you've got an entire collection here which matches. So if I get that, I also want these things as well. So what you want to do is get people buying more items from the same collection, or if you wanted to sell the whole bundle, right, have the bundle, and then they get some kind of discount there. So yeah, I think there's opportunity here. At the moment, it's like the site is set up primarily to encourage and almost restrict people to buying one product only, which is going to, you know, it's when you're in a shop and you're walking past the checkout at the end, all those little things there are designed to increase your average order value. You don't have any of that at the moment. You pick one item up and you're immediately transported to the checkout in a completely closed wall with nothing around you where someone says pay now. So yeah, I think let's keep that in mind. Anything to add or any clarification there that you think, Andy?
I think it's an important point. I would definitely have related products there on each product page showing me. So if I'm looking at a new ballet dress or a leotard, then maybe I'm going to have ballet shoes as well come up there, and for me to just quickly add that to my basket because I might also be in the market for that. I would consider kind of offers where you're going to do maybe if you buy two, you get a certain discount. If you buy three, you get a certain discount, and start putting those in, because it just incentivizes people. Well, if I'm going to buy one, then maybe I could just buy two if I'm going to get that discount, and then your average order value's immediately going to increase.
Nailed it. That is exactly what you would do. You'd offer a free gift with purchases over X, or you'd offer a discount with of purchases over whatever your average order value. Let's say you take your average order value, double it, and then you offer a 10% discount when people spend over that. He's nailed it, ladies and gents. Yeah. Someone says, I would remove the COVID delays notification and replace it with a free shipping offer. It might be a bit controversial, but I believe most people expect delays now. Elephant Man, I would not disagree with you at all. I don't think anyone is, getting aggy over COVID-19 delivery delays. It's accepted as a fact of life. That is the only thing that's going to do is suppress conversion rate. And that is not where you want to put something that's going to suppress conversion rate. And Antonis says, thank you. I did not notice the checkout page function before it limits the customer. Yes, because even when you're down here, right, let's say you see these like quick add buttons, aren't they? But I can't even click on them. It takes me straight to the cart. So we've got this really annoying thing that's just kind of getting in the way. So yeah, I think we've sorted that one out. Let's go for some more questions. But yeah, there's tons of potential to increase your average order value. And it's a really good question to ask. And it's actually the right question to ask, because you've probably noticed what the customers have noticed as well. You're just noticing it in the stats.
That was also a huge one for influencer marketing as well, by the way, just before we move on. Like, definitely with dresses, clothing, any of that, find people on Instagram, get your product out there to them, get them taking pictures.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to dig through back to the start, and we'll have a look and see what sort of sites people have been. Sorry, there's a lot of comments. So if you've submitted your site and we haven't been through it, submit it again, because I'm struggling to find. So do submit your questions or comments. And if anybody has any digital marketing problems they need solved, stick them at the bottom of the chat, because I'm struggling to scroll through whilst concentrating. So yeah. Paul mentioned earlier, I see a shop, not a company I can develop a relationship with. And I don't know if this is for this site or this is another site, but I think this is actually a great point. And it's something that a lot of people who are watching this are maybe smaller businesses going up against large competitors. And the tendency can always be to try and appear large, because if we're competing against large businesses, we need to appear large. Whereas actually, there's a principle in marketing and sales, which is you sell what you've got. So if you're a small business, you sell on being small. If you're a large business, you sell on being large. If you are very limited in your product range, then you sell on being specialized. If you're very wide in your product range, then you sell on being broad and having lots of options. So whatever you've got, you find a way of positioning it and selling it as an advantage. So if you are a smaller business, there's absolutely no reason not to have a page like Meet Us, or something which explains why this is it's a Basilica Giovanna leotard magenta limited January. I don't know anything about the business. I don't know anything about where this has come from. Is this just is it just a faceless white labeled thing that you buy off the back of a pallet? Or is that, has work gone into building this? Is this handcrafted by artisans? Like, who are the people that run this? Are you really passionate about dancewear, but you just couldn't get products that look great and lasted for a long time? Like, what's the story behind the business? Because that, we didn't talk about conversion rate, but that is going to be the sort of thing. Like Paul said, I just see a shop rather than a business to build a relationship with. And there is opportunity there. So that's a really good insight, Paul. Thanks for sharing. Okay. Antonis says we have 60 influencers. Okay, let's see them. let's see the influencers, influencers or people who wear this. Like, let's get some pictures of them on here so that, when I buy this, I'm buying the same leotard as worn by someone who I might be following. Right. Okay. Little by little. .com activewear brands. We have heavily invested in content over the last few months and also do backlinks, but traffic is still low. How do we get more traffic? Okay. When you say you've invested in backlinks, let us know what exactly you've done there, because backlinks are not all equal. Right. Okay, where's it gone? Little by little. I'm sorry, for those who haven't had their questions answered, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay in the comments after this, going through and answering questions for people, because I appreciate lots of people have asked their questions and we're not going to have time to get through everyone. Right. Okay, little by little. Right, first thing, when you enter sign up for a chance to win £1,500. Okay. I mean, that's a lot. And I wonder if you need to go that hard. I would potentially go £1,500 worth of our product, right? Because that's going to cost you a whole lot less than £1,500. So I'd question whether you need to go so heavy with that. Be interested to see what the feedback is. The other thing I might be tempted to do is give away something that has more value to people than that. So, an iPhone or something like that. An iPad tends to work quite well. Not sure whether that is the best use of that. So we've invested heavily in content and backlinks in the last few months. Okay, well, firstly, content and backlinks can take more than a few months to really kind of have a bit of an impact here. So this is like I'm not going to say it's like a Gymshark, but I'm going to say that you've probably been on the Gymshark website once or twice before. Okay, maybe that's an assumption that I can't make. Okay, Edom says it's got us 5,000 email signups. Okay, fair enough. Now, 5,000 email signups to win £1,500 is going to be quite different to 5,000 email signups for £1,500 worth of product, because the people looking for product are going to be target customers. The people looking for pounds are going to be pretty much anyone. So I would also, the goal isn't just maximum email signups. The goal is maximum potential customers that you can build a relationship with. Anyway, but yeah, not bad at all. Okay. Andy, first impressions. Let's look at this site on mobile, because that's going to be more fair to what they're going to be expecting, I think.
First impressions, I do like the look of it. It looks like you've got some decent products. I agree on the pop-up. £1,500 is a lot to give away. I can totally understand why you got so many people to sign up, but like you're saying, Tim, it's about quality as well as quantity, because you've got 5,000 people that are not interested in buying your stuff. There's not much point in sending them anything. So it's really important to make sure we're getting quality signups. Just scrolling down, it moves into the blog, which, yeah, some of the blog topics are okay. Some of them are a bit too general and probably won't. The thing is, with the blog for your business, it's really important that you're writing really valuable content and not just any content, because when people come to that blog post and they start to read it, they need to get some value from it. They need to see that you're an authority within your industry, that you're talking about something that is fresh and actually useful to them, and not just some general topic. If, like, you have nutrition hacks, vegan snacks that are packed with protein. I used to run a vegan blog, and I know for a fact there is no way you're going to compete on that topic. It's just impossible. There's billions of websites out there talking about vegan snacks that are full of protein. So it's really important with the blog that you niche down and make it really relevant to the type of people that are going to come to your site and actually buy your products. Overall, the design, I think, is quite good. Again, it's another prime site for influencer marketing. And I'm lacking a little bit of credibility. I'm not seeing, I don't know if you guys have got reviews that you can talk about, Google reviews, maybe. Yeah, I would just be looking, where's the quality? What's it made from? Is it eco-friendly? Is it, yeah, I'd need all that credibility as well, I think.
Yeah, I think it's easy to look at Gymshark and go, right, we're just gonna, I know a lot of people have started those types of businesses, and the activewear is very current now. And it's important to remember the reason that people initially bought Gymshark was to look like their idols, because their idols are wearing Gymshark. So it's not the product. I know the product is more of a feature now, potentially, but the key thing with Gymshark is if I'm buying a stringer vest to look like someone I follow on Instagram, it's not because of anything about the stringer vest necessarily. It's because of the person, right? That I want to look like, I want to be like, I want to associate with. So we need to know what game we're playing. Are we playing that game, or are we playing the quality game? If we're playing the quality game, then we have to, as Andy says, we have to set ourselves apart. Like, why should I buy this rather than anything else? Smooth seamless fabric is great. Is there anything that's different about this? If we imagine, an established product from an established name out there, and we're comparing it with this, like, what makes us buy from you rather than that other business? And it's not an easy question to answer, but that is the next pipe. That is the next scaling point for you, right? Being able to answer that question compellingly will allow you to scale, because then you move forward with that. That is your value proposition. That is what you own. That is where you kind of nail your flag in the ground. And I think what we're saying from this is that we're not necessarily getting that. Now, I know you didn't ask that. You asked about traffic and what you can do with the content. The gist, your blog is, this is a fairly established way of getting traffic, potentially more a few years ago. So we saw sites like MyProtein build these huge magazines on the back end of the site. They're actually, interestingly, putting less effort into that, possibly because they saw a drop in ranking. But the thing to remember, if you're posting any kind of health content, is that the author of that content is also going to be important. The other thing I would suggest is getting the blog linked from the homepage, linked from the menu, because at the moment I'm actually struggling to find it other than here, and you need all of the internal links pointing at your blog if you're going to get it ranking. So yeah, think about who's the author. Can we get a yoga person to, the best free yoga apps for people with tight back, or, so firstly niche it, and then who is the author? Can we give credibility to this piece, which kind of sets it apart and allows Google to say, well, I've got, 55,000 articles on the best free yoga apps. This one deserves to win because it's been, the best free yoga apps as rated by yogis, right? Or so, something like that. Or maybe you talk to a yoga influencer who you also send some product to, and you say what your favorite yoga apps, and you get them to. So the kind of USP has to work for this kind of blog post because it's so competitive. But like Andy says, you probably want to niche that down. I'd also potentially have category pages for these blogs as well.
One of my fears with this blog is, because you've got general topics on there, you're talking about nutrition and vegan and diets and antioxidants. If they do start to rank, you're going to be ranking for the wrong type of keywords, and somebody looking for advice about vegan protein is going to come through to your site and see that it's selling leggings and just have no interest and probably just bounce off the site. Yeah. So we do need to make it niche and make sure that people are coming to the blog for the right reason.
Yeah, 100%. But good looking product photography, I think. It looks sharp, it looks clean, it looks, it looks viable. It's probably more about finding the story than changing the product, which is going to be immensely reassuring for you, I would imagine. Someone said, thanks for the advice. It will help me a lot in starting a drop shipping store. Yeah, I mean, drop shipping, one of the hardest businesses to differentiate yourself in, because you're selling other people's products. That is the nature of it. So the kind of story and the niche and the angle is going to be really relevant. I'd actually check out, I ran a webinar with SEMrush on Monday with Craig Campbell, who's a fantastic SEO in the dark arts. And we talked a lot about how to differentiate yourself as an affiliate. And a lot of the advice there is relevant for drop shipping as well. So I'd go and check out that webinar. You'll find it somewhere. Okay, we have to wrap up now. Thank you everyone for joining. Like I said, I'm going to stick on the live stream for a bit, answering people's questions and having a look at some of the sites that have been submitted. Thank you everyone for submitting your sites. Really do appreciate it. What we'll do, I won't call out for submissions next week. We'll just go through people who've submitted their sites who haven't had their questions answered today, and we'll go through those as well. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Next week, we're actually going to be at a new time. We're going to test a new time. So I want to run a quick poll with you right now. We're going to look at 3 p.m. Okay, so the poll options are whether it's 3 p.m. on Thursday or 3 p.m. on Friday. And my thinking is 3 p.m. on Friday. That's probably the last thing I might be doing that week, other than answering emails. But then some people may have already clocked off by 3 p.m. on a Friday. So would you rather that we're on a Friday or a Thursday? Let me know in the comments, and you will significantly influence our decision there. While we're waiting for people to answer, Nihan says, it might be a little random, but WooCommerce have a product category permalink in the URL. Not that I've made any subcategories, just wondering if it'll make a difference for Google ranking. No, they almost all do. Whether it's Shopify or WooCommerce, almost all insert some kind of product category URL. Doesn't make too much difference. Okay, Friday, Thursday, Friday, Thursday. Oh, damn, it's split. Keep voting. It's looking quite Friday at the moment, I've got to say. Friday, Thursday, another Thursday. I suppose there's a selection bias, isn't it? Because you're asking it on a Friday. Doesn't matter, we'll work around your time. Correct answer, Indre. All right, it looks like Friday. Cool, we're going to test the Friday, see what happens. Any day, always ready. Yeah, we are team. Maybe we'll do both. Anyway, great. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today, Andy.
No problem, thank you.
Have a great weekend, everyone, and a great week next week. And we will see you on Friday at 3 p.m. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.